Hamas has to be dismantled, then the Israeli government has to be dismantled 10 times over.
On October 7th.
Of October 7th.
On October 7th.
On October 7th.
Of October the 7th.
The October 7th. October 7th.
On October 7th.
October 7th.
Before the 20th century, Palestine was home to a diverse population of Muslims, Christians, and Jews, living together under the Ottoman Empire. But following World War I, the British took control of the region under the League of Nations mandate. In 1917, the British government issued the Balfour Declaration, supporting the establishment of a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine, despite the objections of the majority Arab population. Over the following decades, waves of Jewish migration, driven by persecution in Europe, increased tensions between the Arab Palestinians and the Jewish immigrants. In 1947, the United Nations proposed partitioning Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. Palestinians rejected the plan, viewing it as unjust, while Zionist leaders accepted it. The following year, the State of Israel was declared and war broke out. During what the Palestinians call the Nakba, or catastrophe, over 700,000 Palestinians were forcibly displaced. Entire villages were destroyed, marking the beginning of an ongoing tragedy.
To truly understand the genocide in Palestine, we need to look deeper into the root causes, which are deeply rooted in history, politics, and ideology. First, the historical cause begins with the Nakba of 1948. During this catastrophe, over 750,000 Palestinians were forcibly displaced from their home as the State of Israel was established. This event marked not only the loss of land, but also the beginning of the systematic erasure of Palestinian identity, a trauma that continues to this day. Second, geopolitics play a critical role in sustaining this conflict. Powerful nations, particularly the United States, provide Israel with immense military and financial support. At the same time, international bodies like the United Nations have repeatedly failed to enforce accountability, allowing Israel to act with impunity. This global complicity has emboldened the ongoing operation. And last, by ideological factors. Zionism, the political ideology that supports the establishment and expansion of a Jewish state, prioritizes territorial expansion over coexistence. This ideology is often justified through propaganda that dehumanize Palestinians, portraying them as a threat and denying their right to self-determination.
The long-standing conflict and violence in the Palestinian territories, especially in Gaza, have had profound impacts on the local population. Humanitarian crisis, according to reports, around 80% of homes and 50% of buildings in Gaza have been damaged or destroyed, leading to over 1 million people being internally displaced. Additionally, approximately 20% of population face catastrophic levels of food insecurity, experiencing severe hunger and exhaustion. Collapse of essential services. Prolonged violence has led to breakdown of healthcare, education, and basic infrastructure. Local economy has stagnated with high unemployment rates and rising poverty. Many Palestinians also suffer from PTSD and other mental health disorders due to ongoing insecurity and trauma. The international community has expressed concern over the situation and urged immediate action to prevent further escalation of violence and humanitarian crises. However, the complex geopolitical landscape makes resolving the issue a significant challenge.
Shows the destructive force of 85,000 tons
The Israeli acts of bombing houses, hospitals, schools, religious places like churches and mosques, shooting innocent civilians, and also using illegal chemical substances are clearly goes against the laws of wars. They should be held responsible in the International Court of Justice for committing war crimes. In this genocide, many people was killed, including elderly, women, children, and babies in Palestine. This outraged people around the world who had seen the crime footage within their screen. They built a campaign to seek a ceasefire and demand the genocide to be stopped. As a human that still have humanity left inside their heart, we should put aside our differences to stand together and condemn the acts of ethnic cleansing that happen around the world. Within the devastating damage and massive death counts in Palestine, a truly permanent ceasefire is crucially needed to restore the peace. In the end, as the history repeating itself, like how the Jews become the victim to the Nazi back then, and Palestinians become the victim to the Zionists now for the ethnic cleansing. This issue was never a new issue to the world, and clearly wasn't started on the October 7th. The traumatizing of genocide and ethnic cleansing shouldn't be experienced by anyone or anybody in the world.
We saw many people who were dead in front of us. Their stomachs were cut open, he said.
That's all from us for this topic. Hope you all have a great time. And from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.